All right, well, this is Stats 21. It's titled Python and Other Technologies for Data Science. And yeah, it's a lower div class. It's kind of, it's supposed to be kind of like Stats 20-ish, but with Python instead of R. So it'll cover, some basic Python programming concepts. And it will also we'll also get into a little bit of data, like working with data. And there's a few packages in Python that allow us to work with data. And so, we'll get into that. I'm looking forward to it. It's a required course for those majoring in data theory, and we also have a lot of students. Not a lot, but a handful of students have asked me to just audit, and so hello to you. Here, let's go over the syllabus. I've posted the syllabus today on CCLE, and anyway, this is me, Miles Chen. That's my email address, and those are going to be my office hours. So I have them on Wednesdays at 4, Fridays at noon, and Saturdays at 10, and also by appointment. Okay. And you may address me as Miles or Professor Chen or Dr. Chen, whatever you're comfortable with. But I'm a little slow at responding on email, and you'll probably get a faster response if you message me via Campuswire. Okay. This is the plan that I have for our grading. Okay. And so I'm going to have lecture viewing quizzes. I'll explain what those are. A lot of you have had me as a teacher before, so you're familiar with the lecture viewing quizzes, but I'll explain those in a moment if you're not. And then I will assign homework via DataCamp, and I'll also have kind of traditional homework assignments. And so, there's going to be a fair amount of homework, and I really think that homework is the way to kind of get your practice in and learn your coding. So there will be homework. We'll have just one exam, a final exam, and that will be it. Okay, and then and then you'll get points for participating on Campuswire. Okay, I do a straight scale as far as grading goes. So this is what I do. I don't curve. Please don't ask me to round up your grade. And this is kind of just this is what it is. And so if I need to make an adjustment to the exam, like if I write an unfair exam, I might add points across the board, but I don't consider that curving. I just kind of I just try to make sure that I write a fair exam. I put that burden on myself, but you don't have to worry about trying to compare yourself to others or anything like that. All right. So I don't take traditional attendance, but you are, as a student, you are required to watch the lectures. And so the way this is going to work is every lecture is going to have a viewing quiz associated with it. And the viewing quiz is only open for a couple of days. And this just kind of forces you to answer the quiz on a regular basis. And the hope is that it will keep you up to date with the lectures, because I know in an online learning environment, there's a temptation to just not attend lecture and then not watch the video. And then right before the final exam, you have maybe like 6 weeks of videos to watch, and it's just a miserable experience. So the way it's going to work is during lecture, just audibly, I'm going to say, the first quiz answer is this letter, and that will be the first quiz answer, and then you'll answer it. So just make sure you take the quiz. It's should be available on CCLE already under. Let me just make sure. Hold on, gotta click through stats. Oops, put this in the wrong folder here. So right here, it'll say week 1 Monday lecture viewing quiz. you'll click that, and then you'll just pick your answers. Okay, so the very first answer for today is the letter C. Okay, the letter C is your first view quiz answer. All right, and I'm just doing this just to demo this, and you'll have to do it. Okay, and you just have to make sure you do it before the next lecture. So the next lecture is on Wednesday, and this quiz is due by Wednesday at 5. Okay. All right. So first quiz answer today is C as in cat. Okay. And you're not going to find the answers in the notes. You got to at least watch the lecture. Does that kind of make sense? And that will add up for a total of 10% of your grade. Okay. And it should be an easy 10% to get. You'll get it just by remembering to take your quiz after watching the lecture, but it kind of just forces you to watch the lecture. All right. And, just like sharing answers to any other quiz would be considered cheating, sharing answers to lecture viewing quizzes is also considered cheating. So don't do that, please. Okay. If you are enrolled in the course, you should have received an invitation from DataCamp. If you're auditing, you're not going to get an invitation. Okay. And so DataCamp is, this company that has kind of teaching materials and stuff. And I've sent out invitations. If you didn't get an invitation from me, let me know, and I'll try to see what's happening. I used your email address that's listed on the on CCLE or my UCLA. I use that email address, and so you have to sign up through that email address. You have to create an account, and you will have premium access to the premium content. Which is around a $30 value per month, $30 per month, and they give you 6 months of it. So it's around $180 in value there, which is very generous of DataCamp. And I will be assigning homework via DataCamp. Okay, and so there's different courses. Each of the courses will kind of have some text that you have to read, and then a little spot for you to kind of practice typing out some of the commands that you've learned. Or some of them will have videos and things like that. Okay, and I'll assign that. Some of the feedback I got from a previous course was that I had assigned too much DataCamp homework, and students didn't like that. So I'll try to be mindful of how much DataCamp homework I assign. What I'll probably do is I will assign a few chapters from a course. A DataCamp course is usually maybe 4 or 5 chapters, and I'll probably assign maybe a couple of chapters from a course, and I'll make the other, and that will be required for the grade. And it's generally, it'll be like if I pick a course and I pick a few chapters from the course, probably the other chapters are going to go under recommended. And so, it's up to you if you want to complete the other chapters from the course. I think it will be, I think it's worth the effort and the learning and things like that. So that's that. The thing about DataCamp, sometimes when you're doing it, there can be a tendency to just try to rush through all of the exercises as fast as possible. You're just kind of, you skip the explanatory text, you jump straight to the exercise, and you're just trying to type in a few letters to try to go on to the next stage. We're not trying to speed run DataCamp, okay? You're trying to learn from it. So take your time and do the exercises and try to learn. Take some notes. That can be helpful. Okay, but again, I'll assign just maybe a chapter or 2 from a course, and I'll just say the rest of the chapters are recommended. You'll have access to the premium content through September 18th. Okay, and so even after the course is over, you'll still have access through the summer and things like that, and you can work through that. I believe I have already assigned 3 chapters, but 2 of them are due Wednesday and 1 chapter is due on Friday. Okay, so over spring break, I sent you an email, and if you didn't do it during spring break, don't worry about it at all. Okay, but you do have 2 chapters to complete before Wednesday. It'll take an hour or two. It shouldn't take too long. It's just 2 chapters. And if you want to do the other chapters from those courses, you can do that, but you're not required to. Okay. DataCamp allows you to add your LinkedIn profile, and you can publish little certificates that say I finished this course and things like that. I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes to recruiters and things like that, but what it might do is if a recruiter types in some kind of skill, it might show up at least in their search that says this thing is listed under, you got a DataCamp thing. Okay. And then I'll also have just kind of regular homework assignments where I ask questions and you have to answer them. And these homework assignments will be posted as Jupyter notebooks. Okay. And what you'll do is you'll complete the exercises in the notebook, and then you'll save them as a PDF. And I have the chat settings wrong. You'll save them as a PDF, and then you'll submit your PDFs via Gradescope. Okay, and so I'll have links to Gradescope where you can submit your homework. Okay. Oh, this seems a little out of place, but yeah, come to office hours, and I like when students come to office hours. The only thing I don't like is getting into an argument about how many points an error is, and it hasn't happened in a while. Maybe because I say I don't like that, but if we make a mistake in grading, I'm happy to correct any mistakes in grading, but I just don't want to get in an argument saying this mistake should only be worth this many points and you took off that many points. We have Campuswire. I believe I sent you invitations, and you can also send me direct messages on Campuswire. And if you keep your messages short, I can probably give you a quick response and things like that. Okay, if you need an extension or something like that, you can message me via Campuswire or come to office hours. All right, so this is what we are planning, and it's a bit ambitious regarding all of kind of the Python content that we're covering, along with some of the data manipulation and visualization and scikit-learn model fitting and things of that. It's a bit ambitious, and so we'll do that. If you're auditing, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. You won't have access to the Campuswire, but that's what we have. So this first week, I'll cover a few things. Git and GitHub, and along with Anaconda and Jupyter. And so on Wednesday, I'll get into Git and GitHub. And then on Friday we'll get into Jupyter. All right, and then starting next week, then we'll start really getting into Python programming. Okay. All right. Just a quick note on plagiarism, and basically the point of this class is for your learning. Okay. It's not about accomplishing some kind of task. Okay, because if we just wanted to accomplish tasks, there's a lot of readily available code and packages and things out there that are just going to do the task for you. All right. And yeah, you can just go on Stack Exchange, type in a question or search for a question, and maybe copy and paste some of that stuff. Okay. But the point of this class is for you to, learn some Python. And so if you plagiarize, you're not doing yourself any favors. Okay. And I know I say this for a lot of my at the beginning of all of my courses. So if you've already heard this, my apologies, but I'm just going to go over it again. I want you to think of learning Python or learning, a new skill or something like that, much like you would treat, working out or exercise at the gym. And at the gym, I think people understand that it's better to go to the gym multiple times during the week rather than trying to do everything in one day right before some due date. People also understand that that if whatever you're doing at the gym, doesn't cause you to break a sweat or isn't strenuous at all, you can't expect to make major improvements. And similarly, when you're learning something, if what you're doing is not a challenge, right? So typing something into Google search, finding something and copying and pasting it is not a difficult thing. It's not challenging your brain. And so your brain is not going to make any kind of new neural connections or things like that. On the other hand, if you kind of sit through a problem and think your way through it, it might be a challenge. It might be tiring and exhausting at the end, but your brain is going to say, wow, that was pretty hard and that was challenging. And when you sleep, your brain's going to try to make new connections so that you will get better at this skill. And so, when your brain struggles, if you find it a struggle to write down or figure out the code, that's actually a good sign, because that means you are challenging yourself and you will get better. All right. And so, my hope is that with the homework assignments I give you, that you will be challenged and that you will work through that challenge, and that working through the challenge will, make you better at coding and give you more confidence in your coding skills. Okay. Plagiarizing or copying and pasting someone else's code is kind of like asking someone at the gym to lift the weights for you. Okay. If the goal was to have the weights lifted, or if the goal was to accomplish some kind of task, sure, that's a good solution. But here the goal is you're learning, and having someone else lift the weights for you is not going to help you get stronger. Having someone copying and pasting someone else's code is not going to help you towards the goal of learning. Okay. And again, when it comes to things like plagiarism, I don't think it's because students are evil, but I think it's because students have mixed up the priorities or the end goals of the course. And the end goal of the course shouldn't be your grade, but it should be what you've learned and what you get out of it. And so I hope, at the end of the course, I hope you can judge your performance in the class based on what you learned and not just your letter grade. Okay, and I know I was a student that liked getting good grades, and so I understand the desire to get a good grade and all of that. But again, that's the ultimate goal here is your learning and picking up the skill of being able to program in Python. Okay, so my expectations are that you're going to work hard and that you're not going to seek out solutions from online or from another student. Okay, and I also want you to be okay with the idea of submitting something that isn't 100% correct. Do your best, and if you're not able to figure it all out, submit what you have. Submit your thing that's not 100% correct. You're not going to get 100% on the assignment grade, but you can be proud of what you submitted. Okay, and I do take issues of plagiarism and academic integrity issues seriously, and so if students are caught, we'll have to refer them to the dean of students, and it's not a process that I enjoy. In fact, I very much want to avoid that. So please don't do that. Okay. As far as collaboration goes, I want you guys to help each other out and work with each other. And on Campuswire, you can just kind of discuss ideas for problems and assignments and things like that. The only thing that's kind of off limits is sharing actual direct code on Campuswire. So don't copy and paste any of your code. Don't type out code or things like that. You can talk about, what is your approach for this problem? And you can say, well, I created this kind of loop, or I created this kind of data structure. There's lots of ways to talk about ideas without sharing direct code. Okay. You can share error messages, and you can say, why am I getting this error message? That's okay. But don't show someone else your code. or look at someone else's code. All right. And, if there's anything in the lecture and you have questions about that, you're free to ask, share code, and post code on Campuswire if it's something that's not directly related to a homework assignment. Okay. So it is a coding class. And if you have questions about code or why, one piece of code isn't working or something like that, that's fine. It just can't be for a particular homework assignment. Okay. Is that all right? Does that make sense for kind of this collaboration policy here? Okay. I do like to just take a little bit of time, and I know many of you have heard this before, but I want to say it again, and that is your grades do not define you. Okay. You guys are here at UCLA. And the reason why you got into UCLA is because you had good grades in the past. Either you had really good grades in high school or you had good grades in community college. And, while you're in school, a lot of your energy is poured into your classes and your homework. And kind of the feedback that you get is your grade. And so that's why grades feel so important. But again, your grades do not define you. They're not they're not judgments of you as a person or anything like that. Okay. Maybe if you're applying to grad school, grades do play a role, but even then they are not the most important thing. And, you as a human have so much more to offer the world than just your academics and your grades. Okay. A lot of you have friends and family members and relationships, and you are people, and I'd say those things are much more important than just some letter grade that you get at the end of your course. Okay. As we enter, at the start of any kind of quarter, we haven't, the workload is fairly light at the very beginning, but then as time goes on, by week 6, week 7, it feels like you're juggling things and barely staying afloat. And I just kind of want to state this right now, while it's easy for you to receive this this bit of information, is that I want you to try to maintain a healthy balance between work and school things and the rest of your life, right? And I would say, kind of just broadly speaking, our time and energy can go into kind of 3 large categories, and that would be one would be kind of work, which would be school or your job or other kind of professional obligations you have. Another category would be your relationships, and that would be your friends and your family, a romantic partner maybe, or other social obligations that you have. And then the other category is yourself, okay? And care of your physical self, care of your mental mental health, and care of your spiritual health. And we only have 24 hours in a day, and it's simply not possible to give 100% to every single category, okay? People talk about an 8-8-8 split, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, and 8 hours for kind of everything else. And, that'd be nice. We might not have that depending on where it goes. But it's not possible to give 100% to everything. Okay. And so, I would say I'm happy with kind of my work-life balance and things like that. And I would say it's achieved by making conscious decisions about what is important to you, and then devoting your time and energy accordingly, right? And in general, the more time and energy you put into something, the more you're going to get out of something, okay? And when you put less time and energy into something, you're going to, those things might not flourish as much. And if you can kind of just accept just the natural consequences of not investing as much time into those things, I think you can find satisfaction in life. And so, so here's just a couple of examples, right? So, one example is maybe you start off in a group of friends, and then you find a romantic partner, okay? And now a lot of your social hours are spent with your romantic partner, and you're spending less time with your original group of friends. And what might end up happening is just the natural consequence of spending less time with your original group of friends is that you're going to become a little bit more distant from them. And the other natural consequence of spending a lot of time with your romantic partner is that you're going to get closer to that person. Okay. And when you realize that you're getting a little bit distant from your original group of friends, it might feel a little bit hostile, but they're not. I don't think they're actively trying to be hostile. They're just recognizing that their relationship with you has shifted. And so if you can just kind of accept that this is what happens when you spend less time with somebody, that you get a little bit more distant from them. I think you can accept that and be happy in life and not feel like people are trying to antagonize you or anything like that. I have to admit that I have not invested a lot of time into my friends from high school or undergraduate college. And so my relationships with them, we used to be friends a lot closer back in the day, but I would say like now we're more like acquaintances, and that's just, there's no bad blood, no bitterness, but that's just kind of the natural consequence of not really talking to someone for a long time. As far as work-life balance goes, okay, you have to make decisions about where you're going to spend your time. When you go out into the workforce, you might find that in industry, you can choose to spend a lot of your time at the company and in the office, or you can choose to do what's required, what's asked of you, and then check out. And what might happen, okay, is if you are the person who does everything and then immediately leaves to go spend time at family, with their family and things like that, you might get passed over for promotion, and the person who does spends all day at work might be the one that gets promoted. And it's not a hostile thing, it's just this person is spending more time at work. But that's just kind of the natural consequence. Again, I don't know if this is a good thing about corporate culture, but sometimes people feel like they have to make a choice between promotions and work life. Family life. And I think there's a little bit of truth to that. But the important thing is that you are in charge of what's important to you. And so if what's important to you is your family, then spend time with your family. And I want you to be okay with the idea that, maybe you're not going to climb the corporate ladder as fast as someone else who doesn't spend any time with their family and spends all of their time at work. Okay. On the other hand, if what's important to you is making advancements in the corporate world, then you should be prepared to spend a lot of time at the company and putting time in there, and you need to kind of be aware of that, in kind of your personal relationships and things of that nature. And so, but the important thing is you get to choose. Okay, nobody is going to tell you that you have to spend your time this way. Okay, it's your choice. Right. Self-care is important. Always take care of your physical and your mental health. If you don't take care of yourself, then you're going to be operating at less than 100% efficiency, and then the time that you invest in work and school and relationships just will not be as productive. I put some examples here, but basically take care of yourself. Okay, make sure you get plenty of sleep. Make sure you eat well and you do things to take care of yourself. Okay. And so when I say things like your physical and your mental health is important, I'm encouraging you to invest your time in activities like exercise, sleep, relaxation, and fun that will boost your physical and your mental health. Okay. And sometimes this means not staying up to finish your homework. Okay. And I want to give you permission and tell you it's okay if you choose not to finish your homework and choose to get sleep instead. Okay. the natural consequence of that is that you're not going to get 100% of your homework, right? If you don't finish your homework, you're going to lose points on the parts that you didn't finish, okay? And that's just a natural consequence, but I want to say it's okay, all right? It's okay. I want you to be okay with turning in a homework assignment that's maybe only 70% done, and just say, you know what? To me, taking time to myself is more important, and I'm okay with this decision that I'm making, okay? And if you can say, I'm all right with just the natural consequence that I'm not going to get 100% on the homework, I think you can achieve, you know, maintain, you know, your mental and physical health, and accept that. Okay, so enjoy the quarter with less bitterness and more joy and better health, and it's just, you know. But again, if your grades are the most important thing to you, then the idea of submitting your homework not 100% done might feel a little terrible for you. And I guess when I say things like your physical and mental health are important, I guess I'm just encouraging you to kind of rethink, you know, what exactly is most important to you. I do want to take a note and say, you know, beware of fruitless entertainment, okay? And so I'm absolutely for entertainment and fun activities. Those are very important for your mental well-being and all of that. It's very important that you have fun, okay? And, you know, watch TV, watch movies, you know, play sports or video games or anything like that. Those are all great things, okay? But these entertainment activities, what they should be is they should be a break from your work, okay? And they should like kind of recharge you and give you mental energy so you can go back to work and other things in a good mood, okay? But some activities can have an opposite effect, that they end up draining you, all right? And so some, you know, there's some video games, some apps, some social media sites that are just specifically designed to be addictive, in that while you're using it, it's giving you kind of these immediate dopamine pleasure hits. So you just kind of stay round after round, or you keep scrolling, infinite scroll forever and ever. And you end up spending hours doing this activity. And at the end, you just don't feel any better about yourself, right? You just say like, oh man, I wasted like 2 hours, 3 hours on this site or whatever it is, this app. And you don't feel any better. You don't have any more energy to go back to the work that you have, and you end up feeling just kind of gross at the end of the day. And I would say these things are not good for you, okay? And I encourage you to kind of just inspect and, you know, take measure of where your time is going, and if it's going down some of these kind of fruitless entertainment activities, okay? So just be mindful. I'm all for entertainment and having fun, but they should be positive things in your life, not things that kind of just make you feel bad about yourself. Okay. Oh, dinner with classmates. I did this last quarter, and it was, I think it was a success. I hosted a few kind of Zoom dinners. I enjoyed them, and I got positive feedback from them. So I'm going to host a few of these. The way it's going to work is, so I teach these classes in the evening from 5 to 6, and then I have another lecture after this from 6 to 7. And then I usually eat dinner shortly after that, maybe around 7:30. And so I'm going to host a couple of meetings, and maybe around 7 students or so. And, you know, you just bring your dinner, or you don't have to, you can just join and sit around, and you'll get to meet some of your classmates. Just because I know, you know, in an online setting, you know, you just see someone's name, right? You just see this gray box and their name, and you have no idea who your classmates are. And some of your classmates are really cool, okay? And you should get to know them. And this is just something that we're missing out. And so I think we have to be a little bit intentional about kind of meeting our classmates. And so I'm going to host a few of these Zoom dinners. I'll put in some sign-up information, and I'll kind of just randomly assign you to a meeting, and come and join and hang out. Okay, you're not required to. If you don't want to meet any of your classmates, that's fine. But I thought it was a good time last quarter, and so I hope to do that again. All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about I guess some Python stuff now. Okay, so we're going to use Anaconda. Okay, so I don't know if you already have Python installed on your computer. Some of you might have gone to Python and downloaded something and installed it. Okay, I'm going to say what we're going to do is we're going to go to Anaconda. Okay, and you're going to download and install that. Okay, and that's because in Python it's a tiny bit messy in that there's a bunch of different versions of Python and different versions of these really important packages, such as NumPy and Pandas and SciPy and things like that. And a lot of these packages are kind of built on top of each other. And if you have, if you update one of the packages, you could have another package that stops working because things have changed and things are broken. And so Conda is a tool that manages kind of these packages and these environments to kind of keep track of which versions are compatible with the what and all of that. Okay, and Anaconda is well, I guess it's an organization that has kind of created these packages or this installation thing that that when you download and install it, it's going to kind of install install Python and a lot of the libraries and packages or modules that are important for data science. Okay, and so it's going to include things like Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab, NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and scikit-learn. A bunch of other stuff as well. Okay, and so you'll just you'll go to anaconda.com and this is what you'll get, and you'll just click download, okay, for your version, and then pick whatever computer you have. So you need to have a Windows, Mac, or Linux. So if you have a Chromebook, then you need to find something else, okay? But I think most of you have either of these things, okay? And then I would just say probably all of you are on a 64-bit thing, okay? And so you just download and install that, okay? And that will be that, okay? So download and install Anaconda, and we should be good, okay? And you're gonna have to do some stuff from shell, okay? So shell is kind of the terminal. And so I have a couple instructions for starting up a terminal. If you're on a Mac, probably the quickest thing is to open Spotlight by hitting Command space on your Mac. You can do this, and that'll open up kind of this little magnifying glass right in the middle of your screen. And then you'll just start typing in terminal, T-E-R-M, probably right as soon as after you type in like the first 3 or 4 letters, it will probably say terminal is your top hit. And if it says terminal is your top hit, you can hit enter, and that should bring up a terminal window. Okay. Other things, you can like use the dock, and there's like a little rocket ship called Launchpad, and you can click that, and then you can click other, and you can launch terminal from there. I also suggest just once you have terminal open, it'll be on your dock, and just right click that and say keep in the dock, or just drag that over, to the other side of the, that there's like a little bar. You just drag that over so it stays in the dock. Okay. So that's how you get terminal open on Mac. On Windows, things are a little bit, Windows has a few different kind of terminal programs. And after you install Anaconda, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to run Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Okay. And you can find this inside the start menu under Anaconda 3, Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Okay, so you can click that, and that will bring up a terminal window here. Okay, or a PowerShell window. Probably, I'm a big fan of just using the keyboard, and so you can hit the Windows key, and you can just start typing Anaconda. Okay, and you'll have a few different things that show up here, but because I've typed out Anaconda PowerShell prompt before, it's going to show up as kind of most recent best match, and I can just hit enter and it will start it. Sorry, I have two screens, so it keeps showing up on my other screen. All right, and so this is going to be Anaconda PowerShell prompt. And so this is our shell thing, and I suggest, you know, pinning this to the start menu or something like that, okay, or to your taskbar. And so don't just run regular PowerShell. Make sure you run the Anaconda PowerShell, okay, because that's going to have the necessary things set up to get it to work, okay. Just some basics, okay, for shell, and basically the basic functions that I cover here will work the same for Mac and Windows, okay. So these basic things will work the same for Mac and Windows, and I believe chapter 1, which is the only chapter I've assigned from DataCamp. So on DataCamp, kind of your first assignment is manipulating files and directories, introduction to shell. On this one, these commands are going to work the same. This one's designed for like Mac and Linux, or POSIX-based systems, which is not what Windows is. But these are going to work the same. Okay. And if you need help on PowerShell, you can just type in the help and the name of the command. So if I wanted to do change directory, I'm on a Windows machine, so you can say, help on the function command cd, and this brings up the function here. Okay, and so change directory is actually an alias of the set location command in PowerShell, and so this is what my help looks like. And it says more at the bottom. I can hit space and it will show more things. If you need to quit help, if there's like your help file is really long, you can just hit Q on the keyboard. So I'm going to type the letter Q and that will quit. Okay. And you can clear out the screen. Okay. Or if you're on Mac, you can type in your command name -- help. I kind of have like almost like a simulation of this is a git bash, and so I can do like cd -- help, and this will bring up the help for change directory and stuff like that. Okay. Your home directory in PowerShell is the tilde. Okay, and so right now I'm in my home directory, but I can switch to OneDrive. So I use OneDrive, so I can type in OneDrive /teaching, and this is in class stats 21. Okay, and so CD will change directories, and this is how you change directories here. If you're on a Mac, you use / rather than backslashes and things like that. But if I want to change back to my home directory, I can just do CD tilde, and that will bring me back to my home directory. Okay, and so here you can see kind of where I'm located by this address. So here, I'm in the C users miles folder. So that's where I'm located. All right. So changing directories is done using CD. Okay. And so depending on how you have things structured, you can navigate. Okay. And so directories are stored in some kind of hierarchy. So here I'm going to go back to my folder, OneDrive /teaching /21. Okay, and so this is kind of the directory that I use for this class. And if I want to go back up a directory, I can do cd .. Okay, cd .. takes you to the parent directory. Okay, so I can do cd .. and we can see my path changes from inside the 21 directory, which is inside teaching. cd .. takes me back up to the teaching directory. Okay, and if I do cd .. again, it takes me to the OneDrive directory. cd .. takes me up higher, right? Your shell will support tab completion, which is a really great feature. So here, if I start typing cd and I just type in O, O-N, and then I hit tab on my keyboard, it's going to say, oh, are you talking about OneDrive? Okay. And I go, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. And then I can do CDT, and it says teaching, and then I can type in like 1, all right? And if I hit tab, it will say, all right, what's inside your teaching folder that starts with the number 1, okay? That I have 100A. If I hit tab again, it will say, all right, you also have a folder 101A, you also have a folder 101C, and things like that, okay? So you can hit tab multiple times, and it will kind of just auto-complete the items that are available here. Okay, so here I'm going to just do folder 21. I think within here I have a folder called 20. I have a folder 2020 Spring Stats 21. I also have a folder 2021 Spring Stats 21, which is kind of the folder I'm using for our repository. All right, so this is kind of the folder that I have. And so, you know, some people don't like using shell because, you know, you have to type out all of these things, but tab auto completion is a really great feature. And so just use tab and it will probably complete the name of the file that or the directory that you're looking for. Okay, so that's just some basics of navigating shell. Okay, other things is once you're inside a directory, you can use ls to list off the contents of the directory. Oh, it says, is it possible to make the let's see, font size bigger? Okay, sure. Okay. So if you do ls, it lists off kind of the contents of your directory, and so here is here's the contents of what I have. I have this README file and a PDF of this lecture that we're looking at. Okay, and then you can also type in clear, and that will clear out your screen. You can also just use the up button. The up button on your keyboard will type in kind of your recent commands. So here, whoops, I'm already in this folder, sorry. Okay. I can't change this directory because I'm already in here. And so anyway, this is what I have. Okay. All right, and that's it for shell basics. Okay. You can, wherever you are, you can also access Conda, and this is how we're going to install things. So you can type in Conda install some package name. Now you probably don't need to use Conda to install anything new for now, just because all of your important packages will come in pre-installed. But you might want to do like an update, right? So let's say I want to do Conda update NumPy. Okay, NumPy is a package that we use. I can type in Conda update NumPy, and this is going onto the internet, and it's saying, all right, let's find out what the latest version of NumPy is and things like that. And so, you know, periodically, I recommend typing in Conda update -- all, and this is going to update all of the packages. And there's probably, when you do your default Anaconda installation, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of packages already coming pre-installed. And so Conda update all, it might list off like a whole bunch of things. Okay. All right, so let's see. It's saying, oh, it's giving me this. It's saying the environment is inconsistent. Please check the package plan carefully. We're getting some issues here, and it's going to try to. So Conda is going to try to figure out if you have inconsistencies. It's going to try to figure things out. Okay, and so I've got a bunch of different stuff. I've got the IPython kernel and IPython and Jupyter and things like that, and apparently something became inconsistent over the time, and I'm not sure. But Conda is often pretty good at trying to fix some of these things, and if not, you can always try to ask how to fix some stuff. So that's the beginning here. This is actually okay. It says done there, but let me just open up another PowerShell prompt here. Okay, so here it says, okay, well, if you want to update NumPy, then what it needs to do is it's also going to download all of these other things. and it's going to update all of these other things. Okay, right now I'm just going to type no. I'm not going to do this right now. Okay, but I do also want to just show you, if you just want to get started, and I know I'm going to a minute over my time here. Oh, and I forgot to give you quiz answers. Sorry, if I forget to give you quiz answers, remind me. Okay, so I need to give you 2 more quiz answers today, and the quiz answers are E as an elephant and A as an apple. E as an elephant, A as an apple. Okay, E is the second quiz answer, and apple is A is the third quiz answer. Okay, if you just want to just play around with Python, you can start a Jupyter notebook. Okay, and Jupyter notebook is going to open up your web browser. Okay, in whichever folder you're in, and you can do that. You can click new Python 3, right? And this will create a new kind of Python 3 thing, and you can start typing in Python code 3 + 3, and then you hit Control Enter, and it will run it, right? And you can click insert a new cell, and you can just do basic math for now. Okay, 7 times 9, and then you'll click Run. Okay, and we'll talk about how to use a Jupyter notebook and things like that in the coming days. And actually, we're going to be using Jupyter Lab, but I'm going to go ahead and close that and halt that. And actually, I don't want this. I'm going to delete this notebook. Okay. But anyway, you can start messing around with Anaconda, but we'll get into that in the next few days. All right, I'm looking forward to a great quarter with you guys, and so we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay.